What's going on there, guys? We back with another one. Got to talk about this as Michelle Beadle is going in on Stephen A. Smith again, and she's preying on his downfall. We know they had issues that stem back from her time at ESPN, and she's gone on several podcasts and talked about how difficult it was to work with him, how he's not somebody that she would even want to work with again. Now, we know Stephen A. Smith's power within ESPN and how his profile continues to rise, right? He's even trying to now elevate his cachet in politics. You know, that's his next thing. And so Stephen A, he's doing what he does, just secured a big bag from ESPN, has his own platform. So he's doing his thing in that regard. But Michelle Beadle, the most recent thing that caused a rift between her and Stephen A. Smith is him going over to Sirius XM, which pretty much moved her time slot with Beadle and Decker off the platform. And so it looks like they're still doing podcasts because that's where she would talk about Stephen A. today. But she's going to be more candid about it today in this clip we're going to look at. Now, we're going to look back at some of the things, or the most recent thing that has her upset with him. And also Mad Dog. Let's check it out.
888 Mad Dog 6 is how you can reach us today.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun few hours here.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I'm sure no one's feelings will get hurt in any way, shape, or form. 888 Mad Dog 6. How you guys doing? Because announcements abound. I heard Shine. The big three are back. Oh, yeah.
What does that mean? Big what?
Big three, the Mad Dog.
Oh, you mean, well, if you want 2 hours of Jamal Williams needs to show up for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Wait, who's Jamal Williams? That's right, a guy who doesn't exist. And by the way, I'll have lots of these fun types of nuggets for you for as long as we remain on the air. Just as like an appetizer, amuse-bouche, if you will. Yeah, we're coming in hot today, ladies and gentlemen. Coming in hot.
Hot.
Yes, so the cat's out of the bag. I guess we're talking about it. We weren't supposed to, just as a heads up. We were only given a few hours notice, but we weren't told any details. We were promised that no details would be released. We didn't even know who was taking our place in the lineup. Just that it was going to be announced that new show was being added. Unbeknownst to us, the Hollywood Reporter, of course, had all the details. So it was a little embarrassing, I'm not going to lie. I've been in this business for 20 plus years. I've been treated poorly a couple times. This didn't feel good. I'm not going to lie.
Now, as far as how this was handled, because I know that has everybody bothered. Again, there is no easy way to do this. I have come to the conclusion after seeing all these departures over the last 43 years in radio that the best way to do it is if you, or when you decide to make a change, just make the change. Don't give the folks who you are changing from the opportunity to say goodbye, because it never works. I didn't get a chance to say goodbye. It wasn't from Mike. I never would have been on that last day at FAN back in 08.
It's horrible. And now you have them all fighting for Solitaire ads for Stephen A. Smith, which, by the way, do yourself a favor and Google that Solitaire company who's currently under investigation.
Right now. Currently facing lawsuits over bots and rigged games.
Yep.
Yes, go do.
So,
oh, that brings me joy.
You're being investigated for fraud, and now you have all of these
Come
dipshits just shilling themselves out. But no, not shilling. Let's just call it what it is. Whoring themselves out as harshly as they can.
Because there's a few names in that list that I respect.
Mina. What are you doing, Mina?
I'm doing that.
Dan Orlovsky, you're doing exactly what I expected. Laura Rutledge, what are you doing? Dan, we know this is what you would do.
Here's the thing. Here's what bothers me about it, right? And look, there's no secret how I feel about that human. But the guy is making money off of here. ESPN pays him a gazillion dollars
to not work there full time,
to get a lot of stuff wrong and yell, right? And he gets caught playing solitaire during the NBA freaking fight.
The thing that he claims to be a fucking
genius
in.
And so instead of he doubles down and he does this. If I'm ESPN, and I get it. You created this monster. He is bigger than you now. And that's exactly your fault and your fault only. You let him run rampant all over that company and put his face on for everybody who's like, oh, he works so hard. I'm going to let you in on a little behind the scenes. He wants to do that. Nobody's asking him.
He's desperate to do it.
He shows up. I told everyone I work with, I will never share a set with that person, ever, because I don't respect him. And life's too short. The morning of my last day on Get Up, as Greeny was giving me a heartfelt goodbye, and I awkwardly sat there, as I was leaving the set, they started a promo that Stephen A. Smith will be on the show tomorrow. It is him. So let's stop acting like the guy gets worked to death. It's him.
Yeah.
So that being said, I'm like, he made you look like fools for handing him a blank check in the first place because he doesn't even give a shit about the stuff that he's paid $1 gazillion to talk about. And now he's turning around and turning that into a money-making opportunity. Yeah. And the money-making opportunity, turns out it looks like it's a fraudulent crap business to begin with. Honestly, I'm not a religious person, but I pray for the downfall. I really do.
It's going to be amazing.
I just,
it's going to be amazing.
It's gross, man. You got to have principles in this thing. Look, my principles have definitely cost me money. I'm sure they've cost me jobs. I get it. But I don't regret a single one of them. And sometimes I've been very holier than thou, probably, in some of the things I've believed in. All right, it was true to myself. But, man, at some point, you just say no. You got to say no,
But
man.
why? My problem is, why are the other people not saying no? Like, listen,
they don't have the same principles.
Clearly.
So as you can clearly see, Michelle Beadle still has strong feelings towards Stephen A. Smith, and it's been years of tumult between the two. I can't really chime in on that because I'm sure Stephen A. Smith has a perspective about her as well, but he is the one who has the power over there at that network, the power that they've given him, right? He don't have absolute power, it's to a point, but he has power over some of the talent and who he would and would not like to work with, since they are putting so much money into him. So that is the extent of his power there. They're going to listen to the person that they're paying X amount of dollars to a certain extent. Also, yes, that gambling company, I guess, affiliated with that Solitaire that he's promoting is under investigation. All that's cool. What I will say is Mad Dog being on ESPN, if he could scratch Stephen A's back for scratching his, giving him that look every Wednesday, he's going to do that. Mad Dog said he's learned to just end the show abruptly, with people, instead of having them having a date that it's going to be over with, because people going to feel some type of way if they keep coming on the air knowing that their time is ticking. No matter what they do, they're going to feel some type of way. So just tell them at the very last second, which is cutthroat. But in today's climate, I'm gonna be honest with you, sometimes that's the best thing you could do, and get it out the mud yourself. If your show is really popping like that, or you're a personality that's really popping like that, there's other avenues to bet on yourself to show who you are in media. And I think that's the approach Michelle Beadle should be taking. If you have all these negative experiences in the corporate place, in the workspace, then let's see how big your podcast can be. You and Decker, how good can y'all do without the machine behind you? Because you may be able to get some more popularity just engaging with the people more. I think the days of trying to be there when First Take comes on at 10 in the morning and stuff like that, that is dying away. Streams are more flexible. You see a lot of people, even Acho and them not doing as good as Nightcap, but them streaming after the game, people was watching them more consistently than they would have watched them on television. You know what I'm saying? They are more engaged, and you can clip it up and it's yours, right? So, and you can build a fan base, right? You can capture more moments by coming in after certain games and, people waiting on your opinion. So Beadle, she talks about Stephen A. screaming, not knowing what he's talking about. Yes, Stephen A. get a lot of names wrong. They had the man trying to talk about hockey one time, and so he is overworked, and the network does get Stephen A. fatigue. I mean, they tried to make that man baby Stephen A. for a show, and they thought that was a good idea. So they were pretty much, running him dry, squeezing everything out that lemon. That is Stephen A. Smith. But Michelle, what I say is you don't prey necessarily on nobody's downfall if you are great like that, right? Sometimes you're removed from situations because they wasn't best for you, and it don't feel good at the time, but maybe it was the best thing for you. And so that's kind of how I'm going to look at it. I'm going to look at it like that, man. Hopefully, they podcast. I mean, she does the thing with Boogie, Lou Williams, and Chandler Parsons. You know what I'm saying? So you got a few things going right now. Just continue to do what you do, man. But you ain't got to worry about the next man falling. Let that be what that's going to be, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time, peace.